Y'all back with another small, video. Nothing gonna be huge. The cross that we were working on, this old rugged cross, part 3, guys. I was gonna show you a little more. We got a lot of it clear coated, and I was working on the other top part. I'm gonna get these pieces over. They came out nice. The tape on here you're seeing, if you see the blue, I put that on there to protect, so we're not hitting the edges and getting, because clear coat will drip off on the edges. And if you're, this is all done, so I don't think there's much more to do to this. I could wet sand it again and just wipe her down, but it looks really good. I don't know if all the bubbles are out. I did find out that the bubbles, I don't know why they were there, what started happening, but I know my buddy has done epoxy tables, his first time doing them, and he did a lot of research and learned a lot of stuff, and his came out really nice. And he said take a blowtorch over it, and I tried to blowtorch this. He said don't run it on but I had to actually get us touching it a little bit, real fast motions, and no bubbles, they're gone. They're all out. I got a few little here or there, but like I said, if I sand that, those would be gone. It's not that bad, but everywhere else is perfect. I'll probably will sand that, though, wet sand a little bit to get rid of those, but this thing, no bubbles, and we had bubbles too, and it's beautiful. No bubbles, perfect. Came out pretty nice. This one, same way, we had bubbles, got rid of them with the blowtorch. That came out really beautiful. I'm not going to mess much with the back. We're going to be gluing this and screwing it in. She wanted me to leave the edges alone, just leave them natural the way they were, so that's what we're doing. That's why these are like this. She wanted to, we got some tape there. I sanded these a little bit more, got excess glue and that off. May do a little more sanding. I don't know. I think it's pretty good. But yeah, it turned out really nice. And here's the top part we gotta finish yet. I gotta tape this off again. I'll tape the edge on this side, and we're gonna stain this and clear coat this more than likely. I'm not sure yet. We'll see. But yeah, I just wanted to give you an idea of what was going on. I can't get it together yet. It'll go together pretty much like that. And then you'll have this part here. And then your cross section is going to be here. And that's pretty much what you got. It gives it kind of that 3D look, and then we'll have the top part that touches. And like I said, it'll be nice when it's all said and done. I'm going to do a little more. Let me move this back. I've been laying on my table, so my shop's in a little disarray right now. So I'm going to be cleaning the shop again, getting everything put away. My goal is, I moved adjusted my camera too. Put this down here on the phone. I adjusted it up a little bit because when I'm trying to do stuff and it's too low, then you can't see what I'm doing, and I can basically, and it's a little better now, I can point it down and you can pretty much see what I'm doing. Oh, that moved on us. Tighten that up. So yeah, and also I was mentioning in the video that I was looking for a footstool I built for my granddaughter. I found it was back wedged under my bandsaw shelf thingy over there that I built for the bandsaw, my scroll saw, my grinder. And this is it. The bottom, like I said, I had it glued. Wonderful. I stood on it, jumped on it. That thing held, and one day, I don't know what happened. The glue didn't break. The wood literally split. I'm thinking I might have had a crack in it. I didn't catch it because I get this wood from my buddy gets it from me. We get it by the skids, and some of it ain't the greatest. And there's some hairline cracks in it you don't catch that you can barely see, and it gets weak there. And it could have been a weak point when I sat on it. The wood literally split. None of the glue came apart. The wood split and broke, and I went right to the bottom of it. So I'm gonna have to start watching and really looking out for those little hairline cracks and stuff. Because, like I said, you know, it's for my granddaughter. I want her to always be safe and my stuff to be sturdy. And I built a lot of things, and this was the first time this has ever happened. So I'm kind of not sure per se why. Or just got to happen when I was sitting on it and not standing on it, or somebody standing on it. But I didn't make it to stand on. Really, just I want to make sure it's durable. You know, little kid plant, they're gonna bang it around, do some things to it. But, and I get some sanding on. I also did some wood filler. We had a little gap there. I don't know how the screws let loose. I mean, it's hard. The hardwood screwed stuff in is. I like to do a lot of stuff with pine. It's soft. It seems you glue it. It holds really good. Nothing against. I love my hardwoods too, but they crack easier. It's really harder to work with a harder wood, and I've noticed that. And that's why I do a lot of stuff in pine. And when I stain pine and even painting it, you know, you ain't gonna tell the difference. But even staining it, you get some beautiful grains and stuff in that wood. I mean, I've got some pine stuff. This is hickory, and this is staining it. So I mean, look how beautiful. I mean, and you can get some of the pine has some jagged, you know. I mean, I think that's pine. I gotta restain that because we were doing some. I don't remember. I had to sand it or something or other. Get the pegs down there so they look even, and I'm gonna restain that. But that's pine, and it gets some beautiful color. If I clear coat that, I mean, look at the. I mean, it's translucent. It's like glass. Beautiful. So, anyway, so I'm building the top part of the rest of this rugged cross here, and I just take my square and I line it up to the 35. That's just where I cut mine at. I just find the 35, find my 45, line the edges, get it where I want it, corner to corner, edge to edge, and I just swipe it right there, and I pencil mark it. So my 45, you can see my lines, pretty dead on, 45, and I cut them at a 45. And what I didn't mention in the other videos, which I probably should have, is I take these to my bandsaw, my little bandsaw. It's a little Cobalt 10-inch. I'm not a big fan of the tabletop tools, really. My worm saw is pretty good. I end up getting blades for it, or I'm sorry, people call it worm saw, squirrel saw. The blades I break them every now and then. I got a bunch over here. I just got to put a new blade in it. It does really good. It's got a air pressure nozzle on it that blows the sawdust away while you're cutting, so you can see, and you can. But I want to eventually get a bigger bandsaw. Like I said, I'm not rich. I was looking at. So the drum sanders are about $1,500. Now, what I can do is I can get on a program that I pay so much a month and basically rent to own it, and it's fairly cheap. It's actually on Amazon. You get on there and buy stuff, and you pay it off in 5 months, a couple $100 a month, and you're paid off in like 5 months. So that makes it really nice to be able to get certain things. I put you in debt for about 5 months, so you got to be careful with that. And you pay it monthly, so it's not bad. My wife has done a couple of those, and we've gotten stuff paid off, and it's pretty decent that they do that. And eventually, I'm looking into getting me a bigger bandsaw for my shop. if I had better, you know, a little better situations, like the bandsaw offcuts, you got to be real careful. I went through and adjusted everything I could, and the blades are just so small, they flop around. If you could get a bigger blade or wider blade than that and stronger, and change the wheels out and get big, I mean, that'd be nice, but it just, you got to be careful. And like I said, it moves. It's even tightening the blade as tight as I can get it without causing. But I adjusted all the bearings. The blade wasn't even sitting on the little rollers. They weren't moving or not. Now they're all moving and rolling. I could keep the blade on. The blade was coming off track, moving around. I got that adjusted. I adjusted everything last week, and actually, it always goes to show when you adjust something, you're going to get injured. Not necessarily, but I figure I knew I'm going to adjust this thing, it's going to get me, and it did. It cut halfway through my nail and into my thumb, so I wasn't paying attention. I wasn't expecting it to. It got better. It actually did get better as far as cutting, but still has some give, and it'll still offcut a little bit. So I'm wanting a bigger bandsaw with a stronger blade where it doesn't have that give, and you can move it around, you know, and it's going to pretty well cut where you want it. And that's the goal down the road, is to be a bigger bandsaw. Wanting a drum sander and stuff like that. And maybe I've had this little planer 5 years, or going on 5 years or so, I believe. 3 to 5 years, somewhere in there. And it's a Performex from Menards. Been a good little route or planer. I've done hundreds and hundreds of boards on this thing, and it's done great. I nicked the blades a while back, and I'll get a little stream in there to nick it, but I'm gonna change the blades out. I got one of my blades are fine. It's got 2 blades. I nicked one of them. I got blades around here somewhere. I think they're in there. I just gotta find them and swap the blade out, put the new one in, and I won't have that problem anymore. But a while back, I don't know what happened. One of the bolts loosened up, and it bent my metal rail to the. I had to take a torch and heat it up and bend it out, and get it straightened up, and it finally, I got it pretty close to perfect as you can get, and it's been fine. It just, I think it's time to start looking at maybe eventually a new planer. So I also want to get, excuse me, a joiner. Also, so those are some tools. Crap. That I want to get down the road. So just to kind of make, because my table saw, I love its cobalt. I use products I like. I like cobalt. You notice I got the cobalt sliding miter saw here. I got the cobalt table saw. It's a construction saw, pretty much, contractor saw, whatever you want to call it. The cobalt bandsaw. I do now. My favorite tools are wind and cobalt. I use a lot of wind, a lot of cobalt. Hold on, folks. Got some sawdust at the side. That hurts when I coach it. So with with that and all, like I said, I got one little Harbor Freight. That router burned up on me. Come from Harbor Freight. Like I said, they're kind of your generic tool, I call them. Like if you had to judge from top 1 to 3, they'd be number 3 of my top choice. There's the wall, there's Skill. I love Skill too. I used to be a real big Skill fan. I like Porter cable. I just got the Porter cable. I just recently got a battery. This thing is a beast. In fact, I'm going to be cutting my chicken coop up. I have my rooster, and I have a pet rooster. Kind of in city limits, he's like, well, you got to have a permit to have him because he crows and wakes people up. Yeah, but I kind of like this little booger. I got the big batteries for it. It's the 6 amp hour batteries. I got 2 of them. I got one in the drawer. Not a bad price. The saw was around $50. The batteries were like $39 for 2. So not a bad deal. I do got a bad cobalt battery over here. It's a 2 amp. I got all the 2 ampers. See, I charged it saying one deal there. But you know, I'm not sponsored. Nobody sponsored me on these tools. I don't know. I always like kind of the look of the cobalt. I like the fact that they were 24 volts, the biggest volt in any battery out there right now. That I like. I did have a hammer drill from cobalt I want to replace. When I took it in, there was some mix-up. I don't know what happened, but I ended up having to take the lesser of the drills, and I kind of got shammed on it. They were supposed to send me a new drill because my trigger went out in my cobalt. They said that sometimes it happens. You got to understand, you got thousands of people working on a tool, you know, thousands of hands, you know, you touch something, or, you know, just like TVs or any electronic, you know, something's going to wear, something's going to get missed. A lot of people handling these parts and doing these things, and, you know, it's not the product, you know, that to really, you know, shun on because it had a failure. It happens. They replaced it. I got a new one. They work fine. I have had no trouble. My batteries have been a little weird, and I think a lot of it is because my battery's set out here in the winter. I do run my heater a lot of times, but I try not to run it unless I'm in the shop running. I'll start it up. It takes it a couple hours to get it starting to, you know, it'll warm all the way up close to the back. It still gets a little nippy over there. But I got some insulation to do. I got some holes up here I want to fill in. I want to leave a couple open for ventilation because you never want to bend it all off. You want to have some ventilation. We're going to be getting a barrel door over here. It's a roll-up door eventually. They're expensive, around $400. So I got some plans. You know, I'd like to get this shop really going and get it fixed up the way I want it. My dad, so my mom and dad both had passed away. God rest their souls and God love them, you know. I miss them dearly, but my daddy left me his old toolbox. That thing's been, I don't know when he got it, but that thing is, I remember it when I was a kid, and I'm 52 years old, so 53 this year in October. Got a birthday coming up in 2 months. So still feeling pretty good. God willing, we'll have a lot of more years to go. You know, I'm not saying I want to live forever, but I'd like to see another 20 or so. You know, after that, it's God's good humor, right? Love the good Lord, and went for Him, I wouldn't have everything I have. Wouldn't have the brains in my head, and the air in my lungs, and He made everything. Everything God has made. So I'm just really thankful that, you know, I'm a saved Christian. I have been baptized and dedicated my life to the Lord. So everything I give, everything that I do and I give goes to my Lord. So without Him, you know, I wouldn't be where I'm at. So and I got some YouTubers out there that I love that's really helped. You know, Matt 731 WoodWorx, another shout out. Love the guy, good Christian man. Bourbon Moth, he's another good guy I like. I do watch Matt a lot, more than I do anyone. I'm not saying that against the other fella. He's awesome, he's funny. He makes me laugh. I just love his videos. So, and Matt, I just start following Matt. You know, I'm kind of the guy that I'll find somebody I like, I'm interested in, I just follow, you know. I'm kind of like old school. I just try to stick to, I don't want to get to too many and get confused, and, you know, learn from one guy. You kind of get the hang of it and just keep on going from there. But definitely love the guys, and they're awesome, and I learn a lot from them. So with that being said, take this over to the bandsaw. I don't know if I want to duke around all this. You guys might not be able to see how I'm cutting. I'm just cutting across these lines, and then we're going to sand it, edges and stuff, and then I'm going to router. I got to figure out the measurements on this first, on the cross, so I got to lay it down, and let's do that. Let's lay it down, put this piece in. I'll measure the size to make sure we get this as close as we can. Like I said, nothing's ever going to be perfect. It's not a perfect world. Okay, there that is. So we need to see. Let's get that as close as we can get it. Okay, we're just doing this rough estimate here. We get an idea where we need to cut this mold. I already sanded all this and been sanded and stuff. We're going to stain it. I just want to get an idea of where we're at. I don't want it to be perfectly flush, so as long as it is good exactly here. Let's get our square on here. There we go. So that's about where I want it right there. So we basically lined it up. I wanted to go a little under, so it's going to set under that, not be perfectly flush. So it looks, kind of gives it that 3D look. Use this, I'm going to cut. And like I said, I might make a couple of these, probably sell one online. Maybe we'll wrap one or give one away for free for you subscribers. Send in your name. I'll have to figure out how that works. I don't know if you just send your name in or leave a comment with your name, and we'll take a drawing. I don't know how, like, I'm not sure. We'll say what state you're from, your name, and then we'll just give a shout out saying, hey, you won the cross. I have a phone number. I can send out my phone number or whatever. I don't know how we get an address for you. I don't know how all that works, if we could ship you the item. And like I said, it's all new to me. I'm not sure how that's going to work. I'll have to do some research and find out how that works. I don't, I gotta be careful. I don't know. I know when you gotta be careful on what selling sites and stuff that. So I don't know how YouTube works exactly, but we'll figure that out. I don't know if you're allowed to send your address, phone number, and all that. That we could get it out to you and say, hey, you won this, and we're gonna be shipping it out to you. So, and I'll pay the shipping, so you don't have to worry about none of that. So, we'll get it, see what it costs, and I'll get it shipped out to you. But that's down the road. We'll see how that goes. Like I said, I'll build another one, probably the same way. And well, this was off the old cross I originally built. I wanted to try to keep something of the original piece I built for her, because it is kind of stuck. When I built, she said, yeah, she'd like to have a little something left over from the old one if I could pull it off. And because she goes, it meant a lot to her. She goes, I know you started out, it was rough. She goes, I know you weren't perfect at it. But she goes, you really improved it. She goes, your work is phenomenal now. And she goes, I just know you can do a lot better. And she goes, I already seen part of it. She goes, I'm just blown away. And she just loves the work I do. And I'm getting better and better. Like I said, I'm not perfect. I don't always get things perfectly like thinking. I always try my best to get, I'm a perfectionist. I don't like stuff messed up. But I try to, if I can't get it, I'm not going to sit there and, cry over spilt milk and get upset and give up. And giving up never gets you nowhere, man. Just keep trucking on. Keep doing what you got to do. You're going to have mistakes. Just try to fix them the best you can. Go on, get them where you need them. A lot of times, people, are they really going to nitpick? Oh, there's a little nick right there. It's microscopic. Let's get a microscope and look. No, you don't need to do all that. Gives it a little character, like they say. I don't like that statement. It is what it is. But so let's get this cut. I'll turn the camera so you can see us over here. There's our saw. We're going to put this on here. Oh, yep, my glasses. I've been using a lot. I've been getting sawdust in my eyes, so I think it's an indication that I should have my apparatus on too. So we're just gonna cut this. So if you're cutting, okay, there is a difference when you're cutting. A lot of people, I don't know if they know that or they do it, and sometimes I gotta watch myself. If you cut behind this line, you're gonna be all cut on what you want. Because the blade is about a 1/16 of an inch, so you always gotta compensate. I always try to line my blade up at the bottom of the line and cut, and it usually sometimes will hit flush, maybe a little off, but it's about, as long as you hit that line. I'd rather be over a little than under, and you can sand like a fourth, you can sand, and that's not a big deal. Always rather be over than under. That's always the goal. So make sure, like if you flip it around, instead of going in front of the line, you want to go under the line because you're cutting it the opposite direction. So just always keep that in mind. Little things I've learned along the way, you know, in doing it, it was like some of the little mess ups, like I'm all mad. I'm like, why is this all cut? Why is it not working? I mean, I've cut this thing 5 times and duh, cut it the right way, buddy. Cut it under, over the line, depending which way you got your lines. This is the top. So if I do the top, I'm going to cut under the line and try to get as close as you can to hitting that line. If you got it this way, you're going to go still under, but you're over this way. This is the over part, or under. And when you flip it around, you're going to be under. So you're going to be, I mean, it's the same way. Just make sure you don't cut above that line. Then you're going to be in trouble. So just watch where you cut it. Try to get it close. You can line your teeth up on your saw. This has a light on it, which is really nice. I like it. For you know, it's not like one of the top end saws, but so right there, I'm pretty close down that line. So I give it a little bump, a little closer, a little bump, and that's pretty darn close. So that should cut that line where I want it. Keep your hand flat. There it is. Just a little line showing, not much. I think we'll be good on that. So let's see where we're at. Okay, so that's about where I want it. That'll be good. Once I cut these ends on the bandsaw, I'll move this up a little, guys. I don't want to get it too close because it's just no room. This thing's huge. I could pull the legs up and bring it over there, but I'm not, like I said, I don't want to mess with it. I need to figure a way to get that to zoom. And so I'm just cutting. All we're doing is cutting on these lines with the bandsaw and getting this effect. So, and I'll show you when we get done. Up, right? Hopefully we can do a little better on this, but I'll save that and it'll be alright. Got a little off, but it'll still be fine. Just a hair off, but kind of evened out, so worked out anyway. Like I said, my bandsaw just, I need a better one. It's not the greatest. I mean, they're pretty close. I'll probably sand this head to bring this down, and it'll even it up. I'm using my belt sander over there, guys. Be back in the corner. I'll be back, and I'll show you. You can see it off cut a little bit here. It went over more than I wanted to. Or it would have been better, but I'll fix that and I'll sand it and it'll be better. Be right back. guys. So we got that. Like I said, when we route this, it's not perfect, but we're pretty, if you see, we're pretty darn close, and I think I can live with that. Let me see how we can, and we don't want to do it like that, do it like this. So let's see where we're at. I mean, that's pretty darn close to me. I mean, I sanded it, got it, you know, and now we're going to route this, but we're going to cut this corner too. We're going to do the same thing we did on these corners, try to get them a little better next time. But that's pretty darn close. I mean, I mean, I can live with that, livable. It looks good when we route it and sand it. It'll be perfect, because this was a little off too, but I got these pretty well on the money, all of them. Once I routed and sanded them, like I said, wood's more forgiving. Don't give up because you had a little offcut. It offcut it by like 1/4 of an inch, maybe not even that. But like I said, I grounded them and they're pretty close and they look good. And I'll sand these, and then I'll route them. I'll clamp it down, we'll route them and sand them, and it'll be, you'll see. You won't even do it color. So it's only off by maybe that much. That's livable. I mean, you don't have to have it. Like I said, man, you're gonna have things go wrong and things ain't go well. It's not perfect work, man. You're never gonna have. You might get it 99.5, but you're not getting 100%. I guarantee it. You can get it close, but that's no cigar. Shouldn't even be doing those anyway. They're bad for your health. But with that being said, we'll get this set over here again, and I'll cut this other end. I know what I'm looking at now, so it's a longer video than I usually do. We'll be closing here soon on this one. I just wanted to show you guys some of the stuff we do, and you know, I'm not going to say, oh, let's cut these ends. We'll do the same thing. You'll watch me do the sander. All you do, like I said, cut your corners. Now, some of you may have a better bandsaw that, you know, you can run it through and it's going to cut where you want it. That thing, the problem is that when you go to turn, it won't make that turn. It wants to, what it did is it overcut a little bit. So that's the problem with that bandsaw. The blade flexes and it's bad. And I just want to be able to turn my wood, man, and get a good cut. When I turn it where I need it to, and cut, boom, boom. I could cut it on here, on this. I just don't trust. I mean, I could strap it down and zeke, and do better. Or you know, it's just a small piece of wood. I trust that bandsaw or that miter saw, this table saw. I can use my push stick, and I don't know if I showed you guys. I'm gonna start making these. I call it the shark fin. This is my first prototype. It fits in most saws. The width is already, it'll slide in there. It sets out a little more. This is a longer one. I like to have it a little bit longer. I put the things in because it's kind of like a finger grip. And I might make this a little wider, but it'll be back here so it slides in. That way, if a piece of wood comes up, it's kind of like a small blocker to block that jump back. So that's what I thought was kind of neat. I'll put the fin up and it'll come around and maybe try to block. If a piece of wood comes up, it'll, you know. That was my intention when I made it. And I put some teeth on it and eyes. I want to get some decals. These will be blue with the white belly representing the great white. So, shark fin push stick. So, that's on the agenda. I might make a few of those and put them on. So maybe 5 or 10 of them and sell them. So, maybe I'll give one of those away. We'll see how things go down the road. But, you know, with that being said, guys, I think I'm going to come to a close on this. I appreciate y'all watching. Like and subscribe. It's free. Give me a big thumbs up, and we'll get some more. We'll have more content. Like I said, this is another project I didn't expect. The wife wanted me to redo the cross. I've got a table here that I'm restoring, which I got to do some wood filler and some glue in there. It's a little broke crack there, so I'll fix that. It's for my brother. His dog had passed away and he got her cremated, and got her footprint of her foot in a cast, and he wants a mirror to put he wants a little deal for his dog, you know. So I told him I didn't want to build one because it took a long time. I try to take my time with these. I'd probably be looking at a month before I got it done, and maybe longer. You know, I got a family, I got autistic grandchildren I'm taking care of, and raising those grandchildren, and mowing my yard, weed whacking, you know, things that, you know, dishes, house cleaning. I help my wife, you know, we're in our 50s. My wife has a heart condition, as do I, but mine ain't as severe. She's got heart failure. I've got atrial fib. It was just rare that I was, apparently all the years I had this issue, it was misdiagnosed as supraventricular tachycardia, and my doctors are thinking now that it was atrial fib to begin with, so I could have been a young teen. And you're not supposed to have, he said the youngest he seen was somebody in her 40s. I was in my teens having trouble with that, so they think it was an irregular rhythm, and eventually it just turned into the AFib. We don't know what age. I know I was having problems in my upper 30s, so God willing, I'm still here. And I know the very third time it had happened, I had went unconscious, and I managed to dial 911 because I knew I was in trouble. And my daughter, bless her heart, she was only 11 or 12. She caught me when I actually fell, and that time she was holding me up, and I finally come to, and the ambulance got to me. I took off running. I don't know why I did that. My brain wasn't registered or what. But anyway, I got to the hospital. They rushed me to the hospital, gave me some medicine, and I spent 3 days in ICU trying to live. Now I'm on a cardiac drip. So what I found out later on is I was allergic to caffeine, and I was a big Pepsi drinker back in the day. I was drinking Mountain Dew and Pepsi, and I had a big glass of tea, and all the heart could take, and the caffeine, doc says you're allergic to stimulants, and that, he said you had about 600-700 milligrams of caffeine. He says, I'm like, huh? He goes, yeah, son, look at the label on your pop, where it says 38 milligrams of caffeine. Every time you drink a pop, you keep doubling that, doubling it. I had it was like 24 ounce, so you're talking over a 12 pack, and another Mountain Dew and a tea, and it just, my heart couldn't handle it. The lady said, we didn't tell you, sweetheart, but she said, you were that far from death not being here. She said, you were on death's door when you got here. So that's a scary thought. They didn't tell me because I was already upset. Thought, yep, I'm going to be leaving this old world. But God willing, thank the Lord, I'm still here, and I have a purpose, and I'm hoping to help somebody or do something spectacular, you know, doing something for the Lord for me being here, you know. So I'm thankful, and God, you know, love the Lord, and I'm thankful that He kept me here. He kept me here for a reason. And another story too, my first wife passed away, and my kids, my youngest was 4, and my oldest was 14, from that marriage. So Jules and me, she had 2 daughters, so, and I don't say, oh, that's my stepkid. I just love my kids. They're my kids, whether I raised them or not. It don't take DNA to love a child. I just love my grandchildren. I love her. I finished raising her, and we got another daughter, Ashley, but she's kind of mean and stuff. We don't like when she talks to my wife and calls her by her name, because she was adopted by her grandparents over personal stuff, and I don't want to get into all that, but anyway, so like I said, I'm here. You know, I had my wife, I help her. We do a lot of stuff around the house. I mow, you know, I do the weed whacking. I want to do some, like I said, I'm planning on doing some woodworking, landscaping, this, before summer's up. Got some plans for that, building some little picket fences and put along the thing. First made them kind of like this. I thought, no, I want some bigger ones, you know, that are a little wider, a little easier, and I can make a row of them and just put the little spikes in and drive them in the ground, and a lot better than when I originally started. That would have took me forever, and I only made them. I don't know what I was thinking, but you know, it is what it is. You know, it's at the moment. So, but all right, all. Well, thank you so much for watching. like I said, I try not to get too personal on you. I just give you a little background of things that, and sometimes, you know, I don't always feel the greatest. I have my bad days and good days, and I try to do as many videos as I can, and God willing, I got another good 20 years in me. After that, it's God's good humor. We'll see what's next. But thank you all much for watching. Give a like and a subscribe, big thumbs up, and God bless you all. Be safe till my next video.